We begin with a profile story of a local Plymouth resident and owner of Serious Cycles. Just about all of us have had some form of collection in our lives that we took great pride in creating. We may have even obsessed over them at the time. Maybe it was stamps, dolls, baseball cards, autographs, or even coffee cups from diners across the country. You get the picture.
Sure do. But what about collecting antique Pepsi and Coke machines? Sounds slightly unusual? Not if you're Seth Lawrence or the many others around the country with the same passion for collecting these relics from a bygone era.
Folks around Plymouth know Seth as the guy that owns Serious Cycles over in Manomet.
But we were invited to his home to meet his collector side and check out his impressive collection.
Come on down. This is where it all begins. I grew up here in Plymouth, right down in Manomet. Lived here pretty much my whole entire life. Know, bunch of people in town and, own Serious Cycles in Plymouth and just love collecting stuff. So I have since I was a little kid. Collecting started at a young age. I used to collect stamps, first day covers. I used to visit the post office a lot. Got my first job shoveling snow at the post office, and just collecting's in my blood. So it kind of continued from there. At 13, I collected my first bottle, which is really where it all started from. Just my first Pepsi bottle, and just kind of continued from there. Years after into machines, signs, pretty much anything. Some of the stuff is very valuable. A lot of people don't realize that, or it just might not be valuable, but it has a significant history of some sort. For instance, I didn't even know that there was a Pepsi Cola bottling plant here in Plymouth, downtown Plymouth by the fire station. I didn't actually find that out until I had found a calendar that I have in my collection now that had Plymouth, Mass with the actual address of the bottling plant. And I was quite amazed to find out that, it was here in this town, and a lot of people just don't know a lot of that history. It gets lost, and it's just nice to find out. Getting started, it usually starts out with pretty much the basics. A simple bottle, a sign, something along those lines. It kind of continues to, your taste kind of grows as time goes on. I like to collect a lot of the rare stuff at this point, but when I first started collecting, it was pretty much anything that said Coca-Cola, anything that said Pepsi. People would say, oh, they come in the shop with it and say, oh, do you want this? Oh, yeah, absolutely, And as you get into the collecting a little bit more, you find out a little bit more about each piece and, why they have a, particular significance or value or something like that. There's a mix of different things. From the pinball that my, sons love, they like to play that, to Super Checks hockey, pretty much any coin-operated type of games, a little bit older style. Retro, I don't know what intrigues me. Whether it's the mechanics of it, how it works, how it was made, the overall quality of it back then was just so much better than it is today. You could take something that's 50 years old, lube it up a little bit, and it still works. That's incredible. The siphon mix is definitely my favorite machine of all time, and my sons are over here pointing to it because they know that as well. So this is 1924 automatic soda fountain. It's a Coca-Cola. It's the only one that exists, or at least that's been found in the world. So it's a rare bird. It's nickel operated. You basically put your nickel in, crank the handle over. It actually counted how many times it was used. It would drop the cup down, mix the Coca-Cola, and drop it into the cup. So that's a very early piece. The candy machine I love. The kids come down here, they'll put their nickel in and get a candy bar out like it was 1950. They enjoy it. Of course they want to come down here and raid my candy machine all the time. Grab a bottle of soda or something like that. But I picked that up. I went through the mechanics of it. I got it functioning when it wasn't. So those type of things are something that excites me. It is an addiction. And I limit myself to Coca-Cola and Pepsi because it really is endless. If you start getting into Dr. Pepper collecting and different things like that, you can fill garages, which I've seen some of my friends that are collectors over the United States have some amazing collections and huge barns full. I try to limit myself to more of the rare pieces, a little bit harder to find, not your everyday common type of stuff. It's really family and friends, but I'm open to, you know, any collectors that want to check it out. I mean, this is what it's about. I go, you know, visit across the country, a lot of people that have collections like this, and I can appreciate what they have. And, you know, that's kind of how sometimes you do a little bartering and get yourself a new piece as well. So it's nice to meet some new people.